What is good, my reflections? What is good, my babies? You are over here with Tarithia. If this is your first time over here with me, then welcome, baby. I am a whole Kiki. Okay. With that being said, everything over here is highly alleged. Everything is alleged reflection. Okay. Definitely go and do your research. Now that we have all of the business out the way, let's get into it. Okay. Now, if y'all didn't know, we are starting our alien invasion series. We are going to be talking about 34 different extraterrestrial races. Some have come in contact with Earth and some haven't. We're just going to talk about these different extraterrestrial races that are throughout the universe, okay? Now, if you don't believe in aliens, then reflection, we're going to have to watch a little bit of news. You're going to have to turn on the TV. This isn't a conspiracy theory. They have already came out on CNN and different news broadcast stations talking about these extraterrestrials, these unidentified flying objects that's been going around. You get what I'm saying? Coming from under the sea and shit like that. If you don't know, then definitely go and do your own research, okay? I'm not here to make you a believer. I'm just here to give you a couple facts, all right? So, with that being said, if you missed my first video, we were talking about the tall grays, and we were also talking about the tall whites, right? So, I told you in the other video that the tall grays had came in no, I think it was the tall whites. The tall whites had came in contact with the US president allegedly in 1954, and they was trying to come to an agreement. You get what I'm saying? They was worried if they planted and shit got fucked up by those Dracos, that's another extraterrestrial race that they wanted to make sure they had somewhere to stay and shit. When you finna get put out and shit, reflection, and before they put you out because they done gave you that notice and shit because you ain't paid rent about 3 months, that you go find you somewhere else real quick. So when they run the credit check, when they run the credit check, you ain't even really worried about it because you already secured. You ain't got no evictions and shit on you get what I'm saying, on your background. It was some shit like that. They was trying to get them a home before those Dracos came and wiped their ass out, reflection, because they knew they was coming, because the Dracos hit all type of planets throughout the universe just trying to take over shit, reflection. They're very aggressive. They be taking over shit, okay? Now, we talked about the tall grays in the other video. Definitely go watch that video. It's the video I dropped before this one in the video tab. I'm gonna do an extraterrestrial alien invasion playlist. You get what I'm saying? So you can just go to the playlist tab, go over there to alien invasion, and you will see all of the videos that we finna do, right? I'm gonna make it a little easy for you. I'm gonna make it easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Hit the like and subscribe button. You over here with Tarathia, man. Shit, hit my bell. Don't forget to ring my bell. Ring my bell. Because the Scorpio season. Did you hear what I said to you? Okay, okay, okay. Now that we have gotten into that reflection, you need to hit that like button, you need to hit that subscribe button, you have hit the bell so you can get your notifications. If you haven't already went over there and subscribed to me, www.rumble.com, Taretha Perez, the name is the same. You get what I'm saying, reflection? Go over there to, okay, subscribe to me every fucking reflection. You need to, because I don't drop the same shit on every platform. Now over there on Rumble, I get down and dirty, uncut, uncensored. Baby, we get into Hollywood conspiracies, all type of rituals and sacrifices and shit that they be allegedly doing. I don't know. I'm just telling you shit I heard. That's what I do over there in Rumble. I tell you that shit I heard. Okay. Now let's get back on topic to this alien invasion. Now tonight we are going to be talking about the grays. We were supposed to. They're also known. We talking about the small grays. Now we talked about the tall grays in the other video. We're going to talk about the small grays. Now the small grays are also called the Zeta Reticuli. Okay. Now they are from the constellation Zeta Reticuli. Okay. So that's where you get the Reticulians from. Okay. Listen. So with that being said, these are the small grays. So it's the tall grays and the small grays. The small grays are what are we going to talk about tonight, all right? These are allegedly the ones that, you get what I'm saying, got a little piece of an agreement with the United States. That's highly alleged. I'm just telling you shit that I heard, okay? Now, let's talk about the small grays. The small grays are actually from the constellation Reticulum, okay? Now, I showed y'all where I said the tall grays. The small grays are from the constellation Reticulum. Now I told y'all where the tall grays where they were from, okay? But remember I was telling y'all that they're not from the same place. They're not from the same place, right? So Regal is actually the place where the tall grays are from. They're from Regal. But the small grays, they are from the constellation. Uh-oh, I put it on the wrong one. They are from the constellation Reticulum. That's where you get the Zeta Reticula from, right? Okay, it goes with the constellation. All right, now the small grays are the most observed grays on Earth. Okay, now keep in mind they everywhere, but they on Earth. They on Earth. These the little short ones and shit. Remember I told you that they are here looking for a cure because they got a genetic disorder. That's why they don't grow as tall as the other grays. They looking for a cure for that reflection. They trying to be tall and shit. Now these are the smallest of all of the extraterrestrials. The small grays, they only about 90 to about 130 centimeters tall. They're very, very short. And not only that, they don't have feelings. So a lot of people who was abducted by the small grays, they'll say they act like they don't have emotions and different things like that. Now, some people say that during the nuclear war, if you look on Mars and different things like that, it looked like something hit it, right? It looked like it was a big nuclear war. So it was this nuclear war that was going on throughout the whole cosmos, throughout the whole universe, reflection that not only affected Mars and several other planets, um it went over there to the reticulum star system as well. Okay, they weren't playing. Keep in mind those Dracos was coming through reflection. Now the Dracos, we're gonna talk more about them. If anybody don't know, when you hear the name Draco, they was cutting down family trees. Reflection, they was taking over every fucking thing. All right, now they wasn't scared of them. They weren't scared of them, but at the same time, they knew when they came, you better get your shit together. You better get shit in order. You need to have a plan A, B, and possibly a C. Because when they come in reflection. They not trying to leave. That they don't like losing. No is not an option for them. Okay, so it was said that the small grays actually did something with their DNA reflection to where they're void of all feelings. Okay, so they felt like that by having feelings, it would, stagnate them during war. Okay, you get what I'm saying? A lot of these extraterrestrials, they're very loving, they're very kind, but some of them, they just not reflection. Not that they're aggressive. You get what I'm saying? But they're not shit, they not harmless neither. Okay, so don't get the shit twisted. All right, so they not aggressive, the small grays, but they not harmless either. That so don't get too comfortable around them. All right, I'm just letting you know. Now, the small grays, you wouldn't actually classify them as humanoids, but they're like a mixture of humanoids and reptilian. Okay, remember when we was talking about the tall grays that they have like a humanoid type? You get what I'm saying? They was actually mixing human DNA with tall Gray's DNA. You get what I'm saying? Reflection. So that's where you kind of got the humanoid from. But these are like a mixture of humanoid and reptilian. Okay, the small grays. All right. Keep in mind they are ruled by reptilians. Let's put that shit out there on the table before we go any farther. Now, these small grays, they all of their fingers, they don't have 5 fingers like what we got. They have 4 fingers, and all of their fingers are identical in size. So they pinky, they middle finger, they thumb. Well, they ain't got no thumb, but the rest of their fingers, they're all the same size. Okay, so that's another key to recognizing a small gray. Not only that, they have very large heads, but the most way most people identify the small grays is their eyes. They have really big black almond shaped eyes, right? Some people look at that as like sunglasses on this planet, right? They're like a lens to cover their protect their real eyes, all right? But they have very large black diamond. I said diamond, almond shaped eyes, diamonds as well. Okay. So keep in mind, I told you that they are led by a race of human reptilians. Did you hear what I said? Of human reptilians. That mean half human, half fucking reptilians. Okay, so the Greys, they're looking for a cure. All right, remember I told you they came to Earth, not just to Earth, but other planets throughout the universe, and they looking for a cure within certain humans' DNA. You get what I'm saying? That's why it has been alleged that they have been abducting people in the United States, but not just the United States, shit all across the world, right? Let's keep this shit going. We're gonna listen to somebody who actually was abducted by some grays too. Now keep in mind the grays are very intelligent beings and they don't like to be seen, even though this is the most common alien that you will probably see. You see them in movies and different shit with depictions of them in movies and different things like that. Videos surfing throughout the internet. Some of it, most of it's AI, but some of this shit not. So The grays, the small grays, they like to remain in the hidden. They don't like to be seen, like 613. They don't like to be seen reflection. These are very intelligent beings. Not only are they very intelligent, they're very good with mind manipulation. They will manipulate the shit out your mind. When it comes to mind control, MK Ultra ain't got shit on them. Okay, they are the creators of fucking MK Ultra. Allegedly, just a little piece of alleged. Okay, now not only that, these beings are very good with antimatter. Okay, keep in mind the spaceships that they are finding, these UFOs that they are finding that are crashing in certain spots reflection, they use anti-gravity, they use an antimatter, you get what I'm saying, to power up these spaceships. So these beings are very good, they're very knowledgeable with antimatter. Okay, so now remember I told you that it was alleged that in 1954 they made an agreement with the president. Now, at the time, this is the 34th president. At the time, the president was Dwight Eisenhower. Okay, excuse me if I mispronounced his name. Eisenhower. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. Dwight S. Him right there. Now, you see, he kind of got his hand hidden, but that's all right. Maybe it was cold. When I said shit, maybe it was cold, but if you know, you know. Now, it was said in 1954 there's two alien races that actually made a contract with him, and one of those were the small grays. Remember, it was a war going on. Now, you have to know who you're dealing with. Not only was he a president, he was a military president, which means he is military strategic reflection. He served in the military during World War II. Okay. Now keep in mind these extraterrestrials were coming to them telling them, listen, I can help you with your technology. I can help you with your you get what I'm saying, your weaponry. I can help you advance this little shit you shooting out here. You might as well be shooting a bow and arrow to the shit we got back up there. You get what I'm saying? On reticulum. Okay, listen, that's where the small grades and shit from. They had all type of shit because they're very knowledgeable in technology, okay, in mind control. That's why one president, I forgot which race it was. We're gonna talk about it though. They tried to meet, because keep in mind, this ain't the only president that they came and met with. They tried to meet another president. I forgot who the fuck it was, but he didn't even want to meet with them because he knew that they could read his mind and shit. That he knew they could read his mind, and he didn't want them shit doing no mind control on his ass. So he didn't even want to meet with the extraterrestrials. Okay, but you got to think this president right here was military. This was a military president, so he is all about allegedly advancing weaponry. He is all about, you get what I'm saying, get the heads up on the enemy by any means necessary. It don't matter how we win the war. A win is a motherfucking win. Hit the like. They don't even believe in aliens and shit. No way. Look, come on in here with your weapons of mass destruction and teach me about some MK Ultra. Allegedly. Hit the like and subscribe, but I'm just telling you what I think. I just, I wasn't there. I wasn't even born. I hadn't landed in 1954. I'm just telling you what I think, okay? Now let's get back to it. Now it was said that he actually signed a contract with the little grays or the small grays, however you want. You get what I'm saying? And the tall whites. Remember, we talked about the tall whites in the other video, right? Now, the tall whites have allegedly they're in Indiana Springs. Okay, we know Indiana Springs is the place in Indiana, or it's a place in Mississippi. It's two Indiana Springs, so we don't know which one they're talking about, but we know it's the military base there, and it's alleged that that's where the tall whites are. Keep in mind, remember the Dracos was coming through, knocking down family trees and shit, so they relocated some of them over here to the United States, and it's alleged that they got a little spot over there in the military bases. That's what I just heard. Don't get mad at me, get mad at your brother. I'm just trying to tell y'all some shit that I heard, because that's what I be doing. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you just came in the building, we are over here talking about the alien invasion. We are talking about the small grays, not the tall ones, not their cousins. We talking about the small ones, okay? Now, let's get into some facts. Now, remember I told you that they wanted to meet with the president, right? Now, keep in mind, February of 1954, the president had returned from Georgia, right? It was alleged that he had spent his winter vacation in Georgia, and that he had came back, and he had left for Palm Springs, California, all right? Now, it was said from February the 17th to the 24th in 1954 that he took another trip, but he didn't tell nobody what was going on this trip. It has been alleged that's when he met up with the aliens and shit. Now, this shit is just what we heard. Now, it said that the people was wondering where the fuck is the president? Where the president is? And he had to tell them some shit. He couldn't tell them I'm over there meeting with UFO with the fucking extraterrestrials about a little piece of mind control and trying to get some weaponry, trying to get some Dracos in this bitch. And I'm not talking about the aliens. I'm just saying he didn't say it like that, but that's how it went. Reflection. He was looking for a little piece of mass destruction. He was looking for a little piece of what y'all got to pop the trunk. What the fuck y'all got in that spaceship? Because we in the middle of finna be World War III. If we don't hurry up and get this shit together, we need to get some military in here. We need to get some technology advanced. We need to show me some shit. What y'all got over there on Zeta Reticula? Let me know. We need that over here on Earth. You fucking with me, I fuck with you. We got some dorms. We got some underground little spots for you. You need a home or whatever. Listen, you fuck with me, I fuck with you. I speak the same language as you do. You get what I'm saying? I don't discriminate just because you ain't got number 4 fingers and I got 5. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Now, allegedly, it was something like that. I wasn't there because I hadn't landed yet, but it was something like that. Because a lot of people thought the president was allegedly dead because they hadn't heard from a reflection in 7 days and they were trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. But they came and they covered it up, media. They came and they said that, he was just having a couple of health problems. He had a toothache. And you get what no, they really did say this part. They had a toothache reflection. That's what it was, but it was alleged because the people in the inside actually said, no, that wasn't what was going on. This motherfucker met with them extraterrestrials. He met with the small grays, and they came to an agreement. Okay, now the question is, what was the agreement? Okay, now it was alleged that 6 alien ships flew over the base. Now keep in mind, it was alleged that the president had landed on the runway, right? That's why you also see a lot of UFO activity going around on runways. We'll talk about that in another video too, or you can go do your research. It's a reason for that, okay? Now, keep in mind, it was said that these extraterrestrials was in 2 cigar-shaped spaceships, like it looked like cigar shapes, okay? And it was also 4 other spaceships as well. All right, so do with that what you want to. And it said that one of them landed near the president's plane. Okay, now the other 5, they just hoovered over and shit because they know y'all aggressive and shit down here. They said, listen, we gonna drop one down. If they get crazy, we up here at the top. All right, so 5 of them was in the air just hoovering around, but the other one landed near the president's plane because they finna talk big business around here. Reflection, they finna talk their business. Now, it was said that 2 extraterrestrial entities, they was kind of humanoid type, came to where the president was. And keep in mind, the president, he didn't come along now. He said, shit, I've been in the military. I know not to come along. He had 2 bodyguards with him. And he also had an advisor. Now, keep in mind, the president didn't speak with him. You get what I'm saying? He didn't speak with the extraterrestrials himself. His advisor did the mediation, okay? So he was speaking with the 2 humanoid grays, okay? So 2 of the grays got off the spaceship, and they went over there to where the president was on his plane and shit. They didn't want to come too big, in big ass groups. They didn't want to scare his ass. All right. Now, let's talk about the contract. Now, keep in mind, I told you that they all came into an agreement, right? They came into an agreement that, listen, I'm going to fuck with y'all if y'all fuck with me. You give me you get what I'm saying? Help me advance this old ass technology down here. We still shooting cannons and shit like that. Help me advance our technology, and I might have a little space for you down here on Earth because I know them Dracos on your ass. You don't know that I know that, but I know that. Okay, so they came to an agreement. What was the agreement though? The agreement, remember, I told you, you don't get nothing without giving something. So these grays, the small grays, keep in mind I told you they had a genetic disorder. They don't grow that tall because it's a stagnation in their DNA, right? So they've been looking for a cure for the stagnation because they tired of being short. So they came to an agreement with the president, was like, look, I need to get some of these samples from not only the humans, I need a couple of your land animals as well. Okay, we ain't gonna fuck with the fish and all that shit, but your land animals and these little humans and shit down here, I need a couple samples from their ass because I'm tired of being short. I'm trying to be tall like my cousin in the other grades, right? So they came into an agreement that they would get so many humans allegedly or so many animals where it really wasn't a quota on the animals. They didn't give a fuck really about how many animals they got, but it was a quota on the human samples, right? They also said you are not to abuse any of these humans when y'all take them on your spaceship and shit. Don't be up there doing no weird ass shit, and don't be abusing the citizens of the fucking United States. But it wasn't just in the United States, it was all over the world. So reflections, abductions have been going on all over the world, all right? But they said that you can't abuse them. Not only that, they said it's only a certain amount that they can get. And not only that, they said when you return their ass, wipe their memory clean. They don't need to remember shit that went on that spaceship, but we see they didn't do a good job because it's people telling about this and this happened to me when they was up there and this happened to me when they was up there, shit like that, right? Reflection. So they didn't do a good job on that. They didn't do a good job on that. But keep in mind, I told you the grays, they a little piece of hard head. That's why they short right fucking now. They just a little tiny piece of fucking hard head. Okay. They got this short man syndrome. They didn't follow the president's order. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. They said, listen, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. They didn't get crazy with it because keep in mind they also was supposed everybody that they took reflection, they supposed to kept a list of it and returned like gave the list to the military periodically. Allegedly. Okay, this is alleged. All right, this shit we heard. Now you know I'm nosy as fuck. Now keep in mind the Grays did not follow their contract because they fucked around. Maybe they told them don't abduct number 10 people a month. They fucked around and abduct 100 a month, put 25 on the list and gave it to them, forgot to get them the other 75 people they had abducted and shit. Reflection. But these are very intelligent beings, so don't you know how somebody try to play stupid and shit? Oh, I left off 75. Yes, motherfucker, you left off 75 people. We told you to get 25, 10 really, and fucked around and got 100 a month. You listen, you four-fingered. Listen, okay, I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just saying reflection. I'm just saying. And then keep in mind, these are masters of mind control. Why the fuck you didn't wipe this? How I would have been talking to their little ass. Why the fuck you didn't wipe their memory clean? They coming up on the news and shit, telling us about what was on your spaceship and shit. I know they weren't lying. I know they wasn't lying because I was peeking out the window and shit when you was talking to the advisor. All that shit that I seen on your spaceship, they know what's on your spaceship. Now, how is that you supposed to wipe their memory clean? We had a fucking agreement. We supposed to be discreet. I can't come up here and tell them that I allegedly signed a little contract. A little piece of a contract. I ain't even signed the whole thing. I just signed the first 3 pages. I ain't even signed the other 6. I'm just telling you, reflection. Listen. They hard headed. Y'all weren't even supposed to know about their ass. They didn't follow the contract. These are bad business people, okay? So it was alleged reflection that you get what I'm saying. They was just supposed to get a certain amount of people. You get what I'm saying? To do their little experiment and shit, and they ass still short. They still ain't found the damn cure. Ain't that something? So think about all those animal mutilations and all that shit that was going on. That's where all that shit come from, reflection. All right, that's the Grays over there. All right, listen. Now, remember I told you that they was taking people and they was supposed to be wiping their memory clean because they looking for a cure because they don't want to be short no more, right? Because they got a DNA stagnation. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of, I think her name is Bill. I mean, his name is Billy. Billy and his wife had got abducted allegedly by these Grays, reflection. And we finna listen at their story. Now, I told you they weren't even supposed to remember shit. They must was in a hurry because we want to know how the fuck did Billy ass remember what was going on. I thought I told y'all to erase their memory and shit. I thought you said you was good at MK Ultra mind control around this motherfucker. You can't do the men in black shit with the little pen and click and wipe their memory and shit. You see, all right, keep on. I'm gonna evict your ass. I'm gonna put that 30-day notice on y'all bunker. Keep on fucking with me. It was something like that. Reflection. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let's see though. On a serious tip. Let's see what Betty. That's what I think her name is. It Betty and Billy? I know they husband and wife though. They had got abducted by the Greys, and let's hear that story. This is one of the most famous stories about alien abductions. If it's not one of the first ones, I think that just went public. Let's listen to what they got to say.
We're talking with Betty Hill, famous and first abductee. September 19th, 1961, Betty, while driving with her husband Barney, was heading south from Canada.
Right.
When very early in the morning, he saw a strange light behind the car. It was September 19th. But what time was that, Betty, that this light behind the car appeared?
Well, we would crossed over the border into New Hampshire, and I think we started to see this light following. Actually, in the very beginning, I noticed a bright light in the sky, and I thought I was discovering a new planet until it started to move. And this was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So we stopped the car and got out to see what this, we thought it was a plane. So we stopped the car to get out to look at it. And that's when it changed direction and started coming in towards us. Now that was in about the Lancaster area.
So,
And then it followed us for about 30 miles. Paced our car.
and all the while you and Barney were discussing it. What is this? What is that?
Yes, see, Barney did in World War II. He knew planes. And he's trying to identify this. And it's flying in a very erratic manner, which was very puzzling to us. But this is 61. We'd heard UFO. Well, actually, in those days, they called them flying saucers. We had no idea what a flying saucer looked like. But we had no fear, just curiosity. We were trying to identify this craft.
You go on in the road. You decide to pull over. Barney gets out of the car.
Actually, that was in the Indian Head area.
Okay. Am I preceding something here when you encountered alien entities, or was this after?
No, this is the next step.
Okay.
In the Indian Head area, I'm trying to attract the attention of this craft. I'm telling it, come on in. Hi. I got the window down. I'm yelling to it. Hi. Who are you? I can't tell I'm still. And at that point, it left the top of the mountain, came out over the highway, and stopped in midair directly in front of us, maybe about 50 feet in the sky. So Barney got out with the binoculars in an attempt to identify the craft. And when he looked up, he saw a circular window with a bright light behind it, and he saw these men standing behind the window looking down at him. And at that point, the craft began to descend, and he became frightened. Ran back to the car saying he thought they were trying to capture him. So we got in the car and we went speeding down the highway to avoid capture. And as we're driving along, there's beeping sounds. That sounds like something was hitting the trunk of the car, and the car vibrated. And then we drove along for about another 30 miles when Barney turned off onto a side road. And here were the group of men he'd seen on the craft standing in the middle of this road, blocking our way. And naturally, he had to stop the car. And they came up in two groups, took us out of the car, passed in the woods to where the craft was on the ground.
Okay, so it's Barney and Betty. I don't know who would I call him? Flex. I know it wasn't Barney, but I said Bill. Barney and Betty. They are from Canada. Now she keeps talking about the Indiana area. Remember, I told you that it was alleged that they got a little spot in the Indiana Springs. They cousins and shit do. So I'm wondering when she talk about the Indiana area, is she talking about Indiana Springs area, or like what is she talking about? But let's just keep going.
We're driving along. I don't know where we are. I don't even know how we got here. Barney and I, we've been driving, and I don't know how long, and we haven't even been talking. I just been sitting here feeling that something's going to happen. And I'm not really too afraid. Except right now I am. At that time I didn't feel afraid.
Why are you crying if you're not afraid?
I'm afraid now, but I was.
Oh,
I don't. I wasn't afraid. I was afraid when I saw the men in the road.
Men in the road?
I never been so afraid in my life.
Tell me about the men in the road. It's all right now. You're safe here. Tell me about the men in the road.
We're driving along. We're on a tied road. And all of a sudden, without any warning or any reason or rhyme or anything, Bonnie made a... he almost... The brakes, I think he would squeal. He stopped so suddenly and made this sharp left-hand turn to the highway. And we went onto this narrow road. I was wondering what he was doing down here, but he wasn't saying anything, and I wasn't. I figured, well, maybe we're lost, but so what? We'll come out somewhere. And we're going along, and there was a sharp curve in the road, and as we went around the curve, there were trees. There were a lot of tall trees on my side. I don't know about Bonnie's side of the road, but there was these men standing in the highway, and I wasn't too afraid when I saw them. They were standing there, and I thought, well, you know, there was several. There was, I don't know. And they were just, you couldn't get a good look at them. But then I thought, well, you know, are they in a car and the car broken down, or what are they doing there? And Bonnie, of course, had to stop. And then he stopped the car, and these men started to come up to the car. They separated. They came up in two groups. And when they started to do that, I got real scared. And the car motor died. The car stalled. And when they started coming up, Bonnie tried to start the car. He tried to start it, and you know how a motor of a car would just turn over, and won't fire? And he tried to start the car.
He did what?
He's trying to start the car,
yes.
And it won't start. And the men are coming towards us. And I think, well, I can get away from this. If I get the car door open, I can run in the woods and hide. And I'm thinking it, and I just put my hand on the car door and open it. And the men come up, and they open it for me. And they open the car door, and there's not very big men. And there's 1, 2, 3 next to me. And then there's 2 men behind them.
I didn't hear that.
2 men. There's a car door, and there's 1, 2, 3 men.
Yep.
And then there's 1, 2 more behind them.
Yes.
And one man puts his hand out. I don't know what happened.
You can remember everything now. What do these men look like? Could you see their faces?
No.
How were they dressed?
Alike, somehow or other.
Did they have on any uniform, or were they in ordinary clothes?
Like uniform.
Uniform. Does it resemble any uniform you know?
I couldn't see. There's a couple of men behind me, and then this body, and there's a man on each side of him, and my eyes are open.
Now she seemed very little piece of traumatized. But keep in mind, she said she wasn't scared during the encounter. Now, when she is speaking of men, she's talking about these grays, Reflection. She's talking about the extraterrestrial grays, okay? Now, keep in mind, she said she couldn't see their faces. They're very good with mind manipulation, all right? She said that he tried to start his car, but it wouldn't start. They're very good with fucking with electronics and different things like that. Okay, Reflection. Now, I thought that was very interesting with her describing her encounter. Now keep in mind these were some of the first people her and her husband from Canada they had came down, Reflection, and they were allegedly abducted by the Greys according to them. Okay, let's keep going.
With both Bonnie and I, they checked our eyes, ears, nose, throat, took samples of our hair, fingernail, and they scraped our skin. With me, they touched my body with little points on wires. They said he was checking my nervous system. And then they attempted to insert a needle-like instrument in my navel. I objected that it would hurt, and he said it shouldn't hurt. When he did this, it caused a great deal of pain. He said it was a pregnancy test, and I said, well, that's no pregnancy test here.
Betty Hill was right. In 1961, there was no pregnancy test like that here on Earth. But in the early 1970s, two techniques, amniocentesis and laparoscopy, have both come into wide usage. Both are techniques that provide information about pregnancy and bear a striking resemblance to the experience that Betty Hill described. It's difficult to imagine Betty Hill inventing medical techniques that did not yet exist on Earth unless her UFO experience actually occurred.
Okay, so what do you think about that, Reflection? She said when they did abduct her and took her on the spaceship, they were performing pregnancy tests. But not the normal pregnancy test that is used down here on Earth. Now this is available now, but this was back in the 1950s, 1960s, Reflection. This wasn't the type of technology that we had privy to then. Okay, but keep in mind, I told y'all that these extraterrestrial, the Greys, are very intelligent beings. Okay, so they had shit that was they are way above and ahead of our time. You get what I'm saying? Reflection. The stuff we got down here look like VHSs and CD players, the handhelds. Reflection compared to what they got. That shit looked like the call ID. You remember that little box? There used to be the call ID not on your phone. It was literally a box that you had to look on to see what somebody's number was when they was calling you type shit. That's what we got down here right now compared to the stuff that they got, Reflection. Okay, so I just wanted to come over here. I didn't want to make this video too long. I want to tell y'all about the Greys. Now our next video we are going to talk about the Arcturians a little bit, Reflection, and we'll probably talk about the Sirens. Okay, the Sirens, the Sirens, however you pronounce it, wherever you locate it. Okay, keep in mind we pronounce things differently depending on where we are. All right, so hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I am over here talking about the Alien Invasion series. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up, drop in the comments, let me know what you think about it. Also, if you did like the content, definitely give me a subscribe, Reflection. Okay, because keep in mind, we just getting started. I have to talk about 34 alien races. We got to know. They get to talk about these alien races, you'll be like, oh yeah, man, Taretha, we already talked about that. Oh, you talking about the Greys? Who you talking about? The Sirens? You talking about the Anunnaki? Who y'all talking about? You talking about the ones from Venus? The Lyrans? Who we talking, baby? Who the fuck we talking? Let me know, because I already know about them. I already know about them. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You over here with Taretha. Until next time, Reflection. Ashe.